Hey all, welcome back to the Fire and Water Cooking channel. I am Darren, of course, and today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm not cooking outside. I may do some prep work outside, but I'm going to compare the F.Blumlein steam oven here. It's a lower end steam oven, and then we're going to also compare that to the Anova Precision Oven, and we're going to cook everything bagels. There's a recipe in the Anova app for the Anova oven for everything bagels. We're going to make that recipe and we're going to try it out in both the F.Blumlein and the Anova Precision Oven. I'll be back.
Smoking, grilling, getting hot and hotter, sous vide and chilling from fire and water.
Alright guys, I thought I would move outside here just to be able to mix it up since I have to cook it inside. I might as well be out here in the nice weather. It's gorgeous out here today. It's about probably in the low 60s out here in Florida. It's nice. Love it. Nice and sunny. I know a lot of people out in other areas are getting a lot of weather with a lot of snow and all that. But I'm out here on my patio. I'm going to make some bagels. So I've got all my ingredients laid out, and I'm going to put that in the description below. But I've got about 1 1/4 cups of water, and warm water. I've got 3½ cups of bread flour, sugar. I think it's 2½ teaspoons of sugar, about 2 teaspoons of salt, and 2½ teaspoons or 1½ teaspoons of instant yeast. And we're going to finish these bagels off with the Brunch Life everything bagel seasoning. The Anova app has a recipe for the everything bagel seasonings if you want to mix it all together yourself. But FreshJax comes through with their everything bagel seasoning. Everything you need in an everything bagel is right in here. You can check it out in the link below. But it's called Brunch Life, and it's their everything bagel seasoning. That's what we're going to use to finish these off. But first, we got to mix it up. So first thing we got to do is add all our ingredients to the bowl. So I'm going to add my flour. My mixer here is probably shocked that it's being used because I'm not big into baking anymore. I used to be a long time. I'm putting all my dry ingredients, and one of the things I'm doing is I'm putting them all, like the salt and the sugar and the yeast, all in different areas. Because one of the things I've always heard is if you put the yeast directly in the salt, it could actually affect the way it works. So I'm putting them all away from each other in the bowl, and then they can mix together when I get the water going. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this in, and the app recipe says to mix it on low for 5 to 6 minutes till it gets nice and smooth. If you need to add a little bit more water, you can, a little bit at a time. But I'm going to go ahead and get this going. Before I add the water, I'm going to let the dry ingredients start to mix up. And I'm going to leave it right about there. This is a 2 setting for my mixer. I'm going to go ahead and just add the water slowly. The biggest part with the steam ovens, we're not going to be boiling them like you normally would with a bagel. We're just going to use the steam ovens to steam them before we bake them off. So that's one of the benefits of using the steam oven compared to a regular oven. There's no need to boil them. Alright, I'm going to let that mix for a little bit. Like I said, it says 5 to 6 minutes. If you need to add just a little bit more water, you can. It looks like I may need to. Up to another 1/4 cup, it says, but just a little bit at a time. You don't want to put too much water in there, have too wet of a dough. I'm actually going to go get just a little bit more water, and then I'll be right back. Alright guys, I think we're about done here. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this off. It's been about 6 minutes. So it looks like we got a nice dough ball there. I'm going to go ahead and take it out of the bowl, and I'm going to put it in this glass bowl, and we're going to proof it in the Anova Precision Oven, because that's, I'm not going to proof it in both of them. You can proof bread in both of these, but it's the finishing product that I want to see, because I can control the humidity more in the Anova Precision Oven than I can the F.Blumlein. So we're going to go ahead and proof this dough in the Anova Precision Oven. Let me get it in the bowl. I'll be right back.
All right, guys, since I'm using the recipe from the Anova Oven app, it actually will walk you through the steps, and it has the stage cooking here. So I'm going to start the first proof, and after that, we'll go to the steaming function. I'll be back.
All right, guys, as you saw, I got the Anova Precision Oven on through running the recipe in the app. I'm going to go ahead. It pretty much says to just go ahead and put the dough in there, even though it's not up to temp, because it's not going to take it too long. So it just went off that it's up to temp. So it really doesn't take it long to get to proofing temperature, especially when it's kind of warm in here. But so we're going to let this proof. As soon as that's done proofing, we're going to finish it up. I'm going to go ahead and roll it out and let it cut it into different pieces, and then we're going to finish it off in the steam, and then we're going to bake it off. So, all right, guys, I will be back. All right, guys, I'm back to tackle these bagels. It looks like my dough has risen quite enough. I'm going to go ahead, put a little flour down here. I covered my cutting board here with foil, just so it makes it easier to clean up. Make sure that doesn't move around. And I'm going to take my dough ball out of the bowl here. And it says just to kind of knock it back some. So I'm going to go ahead and knead this and knock some of the air out. So I'm just trying to make this so it's going to be easier for me to clean this up. And I don't need to knead it too much. So really, all I'm doing is just getting some of the air out. And then I'm going to cut it into 8 separate pieces here. I'm going to try to make this as even as possible so I can get perfect sizes here. Let's see if I can get, see that should be like one there, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, let's just do 7. How's that? Don't really need to have 8, but I'll like my bagels a little bigger. So now what it says to do is just kind of make them into a ball and put the hole right in the middle. Just kind of use your thumbs, and you just kind of want to smush it around. Try to make it as even as possible when you're doing these. Then you just kind of spin your finger in the middle, kind of like tossing a pizza around, but a little different. Try to even it out. If it's still a little dry, you can kind of try to mush it together. I added just a little bit more than the water that it said, just so I can make sure that it had enough moisture in it. And then we're just going to put it, when you got it as even as possible, just going to put it right on this parchment paper on a pan. And I'm going to do this another 6 times, and we'll be done. I'll stick them in the oven, so I'll be back.
All right, guys, I went ahead and shaped these all out. Just give it a little bit of extra twist here. Make sure they're as even as possible looking. This is going to proof up a little bit more when I get it in the oven.
All right, so I got 7 decent sized bagels. We'll see how much these proof up and bake. We're going to go put them in on the steam function now. I'm going to go ahead and get that both the ovens heated up, ready to go, and let these proof just a little bit longer. All right, I'll see you back in a few.
Well, all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and set up the Anova Precision Oven for the steaming process here with the app. I'm also going to go ahead and try to mimic the same time and temp here on the F.Blumlein. And as soon as it's ready, I'm going to go ahead and stick the bagels in for the steaming process. I'll be back in just a few minutes.
All right, guys, it's time for the steaming portion to be done here. So you can tell, you can probably tell they've risen some. Now on the Anova oven on this recipe, it tells me when I remove these to put the egg wash on and season them up, to kick the oven up to a higher temperature like 392 with 30% steam. Now on the F.Blumlein over here, I can't really adjust the steam. It's either steam or no steam, and you can adjust which burners are active. So I think what I'm going to have to do with that, since there's already a lot of water in there, it's going to have some steam in it. I'm just going to have to shut off the steam function and let the top and bottom elements cook on their own for that last bit. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these and get them seasoned up. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I got those heating up, and as you can see here, they've poofed up pretty good. I got my FreshJax Brunch Life here, my egg wash, and while those are heating up, I'm going to go ahead and brush my egg wash on these. So now I'm just going to go ahead and take my Brunch Life from FreshJax. It's their everything bagel seasoning, and just put it right on top. All right, got them all seasoned up now. How's that looking? So far, it's looking pretty good to me. We'll go ahead and get these back in the oven. It's getting right up to temp. All right, guys, so these are looking done. Timer says it's just about done. Don't want them to burn, because you know that everything bagel stuff will burn. So I'm going to go ahead and take these out, and I'll show you what they look like.
Well, check these out, guys. These look pretty good. They poofed up really well. The ones on the left are from the APO. The ones on the right are from the F.Blumlein.
All right, guys, they're done. These are the ones from the Anova Precision Oven. These are the ones from the F.Blumlein. And to tell you the truth, I can't really tell that much of a difference. Now, these ones look like they kind of proofed up a little bit more and got a little bit more poofy. These kind of spread out a little bit more, but as far as rising, all of them kind of look very similar. These are more compact, I guess. Since you really can't control the amount of steam in the F.Blumlein, I guess these got a little bit more steamed, is all I can say. You can control the steam, the amount of steam in the APO, but also you can't adjust any kind of percentage. So that means on the second part of the cook, I couldn't have any steam in there, but there was steam in the oven because of the leftover water that was actually generated when it was steaming. So technically there was steam in there, it just wasn't continually being injected. And this one, you can control the amount of steam that's being released. So they both look really good. I can't really tell you one looks better than the other, because these are just a little bit more poofy. Like I said, probably because of the more steam that was in there in the initial cook. But like if you compare these two side by side, you really couldn't tell one was cooked different than the other in a different oven. But I'm going to go ahead and try just one of these, because really the taste shouldn't be any different, just the way they kind of came out. So I'm going to pick this one right here. And they are nice and poofy. Tender and chewy, like a bagel should be. Still a little warm. That everything bagel seasoning is really good from FreshJax, so check that out. That's it. All right, guys, there you have it. Both of these ovens will cook bagels just great. Check it out. Check out both of these. See which one you want. The Anova Precision Oven's a little bit more expensive. It does a little bit more. Has a little bit more control. For the F.Blumlein, if it's something where you just want to make bread or do some basic steam cooking, you can use that as well. These are really good. If you have the Anova Precision Oven, go ahead and try their everything bagel recipe. Make sure you get the FreshJax, Brunch Life, everything bagel seasoning to go with it. That's also in the link below. Thanks for watching. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Make sure you follow us on our Fire and Water Cooking podcast. And follow us on our next Fire and Water Cooking video. I'm going to go eat the rest of these. See ya.